One of the cool things about Teslas is the amount of customization in terms of settings that you can adjust. And while you totally can just get in the car and start driving, there are some settings I'd recommend, especially for new owners or people that may be demoing the vehicle, thinking about purchasing, to turn on before you do. So the very first setting that I recommend turning on, or it's not necessarily that you're turning it on, it's more so that you're adjusting it. And this is especially important if you are about to take delivery or you have just taken delivery and you haven't messed with any of your trip cards yet, is going to be the bottom down here. You'll notice that mine, the distance, matches my odometer. That's because the second that I got the car, before I even drove out of the delivery center, is that I went in here, I changed the name to Lifetime. Some people do Lifetime and then all caps, do not reset. And that way you can track how many kilowatt hours have been pulled from the battery pack via the car's knowledge and your lifetime average efficiency. You can see here that I've used 2,717 kilowatt hours with an average efficiency of 290 watt hours per mile. I tend to use the top one here if I'm doing either like a road trip or during like wheel swaps, so swapping between my like winter and summer wheels, just to kind of keep a general idea of my efficiency on those wheels. Next up is going to be Autopilot, which you will need to enable before your first drive. If you all watched my delivery day video of this car, I got a few miles down the road, my camera calibration completed, and then I forgot to turn on Autopilot and I had to quickly put the car in park, and yeah. Now, if you're just taking delivery of your car, then you will have a full self-driving like trial that you can use. So I am going to be talking from the perspective of the full self-driving tab here. It is slightly different if you have just normal Autopilot or if you're just using traffic aware cruise control. Start FSD from parked, I would recommend turning on. It's just super cool to see the car start from a parked position. And if it needs to reverse, it's just kind of wild if you've never experienced it. I would recommend turning brake confirm off just to make it as seamless as possible unless you have a reason to have it turned on. As for profiles, I've always advocated for the most aggressive one, as I feel like that personally just drives more human-like. However, I do know that some people do prefer standard. I pretty much don't know anyone that drives in the chill profile. Max speed offset, this is actually one you're probably going to want to adjust if it makes you uncomfortable. This is exactly what it sounds like. Like right now, I'm telling my car that is allowed to do 40% over like the speed limit. And if you watch my last FSD video, yeah, it is not afraid to book it going 70, 80, and a 55. I know a lot of people would turn this down to like 10 or 15%. Speaking of 15%, Test Stuff's Valentine's Day sale is now live with 15% off everything using code CYBERLOVE. A perfect time to get something nice for the most important thing in your life, your Tesla. Yeah, go ahead and embrace the stigma. All-weather floor mats, screen protectors, organizers, ambient light kits, and more. Legacy Model Y, Model Y Juniper, Model 3 Highland, we got it all. Code CYBERLOVE, all caps, 15% off at Test Stuff. Also want to thank you all for all the support over the years on Test Stuff. Just a reminder, because I know there's always new people watching these videos, I do own Test Stuff, and it's because of Test Stuff that you'll never see scam ads here on the channel. So like, what are the recent ones that have come out as being scams? Honey, BetterHelp, those annoying mobile game ads you see. Yeah, you'll never see that here on the channel. Thank you all so much. Expanded full self-driving visualization. I do have this on, but I'm not gonna lie, this sometimes gets kind of annoying if I like want to look at the maps and I turn on full self-driving. So you might want to turn that off. I have mine on. Actually, Smart Summon, you do need to make sure you have this turned on if you want to use Smart Summon from your phone. Getting down to the bottom of the Autopilot setting, I do recommend having forward collision warning on, and I recommend setting it to early. Yes, it will give you some like false positives where you'll be driving and then you'll see someone is like turning, but they're turning kind of slow, but you see that how far you are from behind them, that you necessarily don't really need to slow down, but the car sees you just going like full speed at a car that's obviously going much slower, and it'll like start yelling at you or it'll make the alarm sound. I just ignore it, but I always want it on instead of off because it actually has saved my butt a few times. And then all these settings down here, I also recommend you turning on. So emergency lane departure avoidance, automatic emergency braking, which you can't even turn off if you have Autopilot or FSD enabled. Obstacle aware acceleration, which is actually a big one. I've never tested if it works. Don't think I'll ever test if it works, but I've heard stories of people that have been in bumper to bumper traffic. They go to reach for something in the back seat, their foot slips, it hits the accelerator because they're like fully stretching out, and the car doesn't move because it sees that there's a vehicle directly in front of them. And then green traffic light chime. Some people don't like this. I love this. Like, this used to be an FSD only feature. Now it's available to everyone. I think you should 100% have this on. The next setting to turn on is going to be under display, and it is appearance. Set this to either auto or dark. I personally prefer auto because I like that it gets nice and bright during the day so I can see it. Even with super dark tint, I think that the light looks really good during the day, and I much prefer it. And then it goes to dark at night. However, I do know some people just prefer dark all the time. I personally don't. When it's dark and there's light outside, you can see fingerprints on the screen a lot easier. In fact, you can probably see them right now on the camera. I have to keep cleaning them off. Next is reduce blue light. I have this turned off simply because I do a lot of color grading. I'm always messing with cameras, white balance. I have the the eye comfort setting mode turned off on every device I own. So I also have it turned off here. But most people actually probably do prefer that at night to have the screen be a little bit warmer. So I actually would recommend turning this on for most people. We also can't forget to turn on automatic blind spot camera. As you can see, if I have it turned off and I turn on my turn signal, nothing happens. Or if I have it on, now something happens. And you get a nice blind spot indicator will be for the right and then going to the left. There you go. And then lastly, down here at the bottom of display, I do recommend changing energy display from distance to percentage. I've talked about it before. Tons of other people have also talked about why you should run percentage over distance. Distance doesn't really mean anything ever. And it's just more confusing than what it's worth, in my opinion. And percentage is actually a number that means something. It's actually how much is left in your battery. And after switching to percentage, you get used to it. You realize, oh, my commute to work takes 10% during the summer and like 13% during the winter. You start going off of percentage, and it's just a much more accurate stat to display. Coming on down here to safety, you are going to make sure you turn Sentry mode on. I do exclude home just because I park in a garage with cameras. If you do the same, then you really don't need to have Sentry mode on because you'll just be burning battery. It consumes about 1% every hour, but I definitely think it's worth it. If you do have premium connectivity, make sure you turn on view camera via mobile app. This will allow you to view the car's cameras via the mobile app. As for dash cam, this is when the cameras are all going at the same time while you're driving. 100% have this on in case of like an accident, you need it for insurance, whatever it might be. And I do recommend setting it to auto. I used to run manual, but you actually don't want to run manual, in my opinion, because it's redundant. As if you put your dash cam icon down here in the dock and you tap it while you're driving, that actually works as manual. As a lot of people, what they would do is that they would just click the car down here, and then right here you can tap it and that'll save the last 10 minutes. But actually you don't even need to do that. You just tap the dash cam icon and it'll act as a manual recording button. So you might as well run auto. It's kind of like a backup in case of an accident and you either are not able to press the icon because you're unconscious or something, or you just forget, heat of the moment, your adrenaline's going and you just forget. Then it should try and record it because it's on auto. So it's kind of just a backup. I also recommend turning on your blind spot warning collision chime along with the blind spot warning light. Blind spot warning light, I'm not sure if that, I think that's the red that'll glow on the camera pop-ups if there is someone there. I don't think that's the actual light in the like speakers for the new 3 and Y, but nonetheless, turn it on. Pin to drive, I would also recommend running. However, if you use FSD and you have the Star FSD from Parked, then apparently you still need to like put in your pins. So that's why I have mine off. I normally do recommend running pin to drive, and I also have glove box pin on here as well. Automatic 911 call, turn this on. You will need a Bluetooth connected phone, but you should have paired your phone via Bluetooth the second you got in the car anyway. Park assist chimes, also recommend turning on. It's just gonna ding at you as you get close to something, and it's gonna progressively ding faster, and then it's gonna start like beeping when you're really close. Lower volume in reverse and Joe mode. I love both of these so much, especially Joe mode. I always thought that I wouldn't like Joe mode, and then I turned it on. I don't remember why I turned it on. I think it was a road trip and the lady was trying to sleep, and it like the autopilot kept dinging and whatnot. And yeah, I turned on Joe mode and then never turned it off. In fact, I wish they had like a Joe mode Pro or Pro Max, right? to where it's just super quiet, because I still think the beeping is a little too loud. Under software, while this is mainly speculation, I do have my software update preference set to advanced. I normally am in the first like 1 to 3 waves of getting software updates. And so I've always just ran mine on advanced. So if you just want the latest stuff as soon as it comes out, then set yours to advanced. And while we're next to software, go ahead and head on down to navigation and make sure that trip planner is turned on. This is just going to add supercharger stops if necessary, if it sees that you're not going to make it to your destination with enough charge. Under lights, turn on your auto cancel for your auto turn signals. This does exactly what it sounds like. You don't got to turn your turn signal off when you're changing lanes, or if you're like taking an exit, it'll just automatically turn off for you. It is fantastic. I remember when they added this, and man, it was such a game changer. Next up, I do like to run headlights after exit. I've just always had it on, and I really prefer my headlights stay on for a few minutes after I've exited the car. At night, it's dark. I want to be able to see my surroundings. Really recommend turning this on. I personally really like it. If you're in a new 3 or new Y, you will have access to accent lights. I have mine turned on, but I know a lot of people like to run night only, so their lights aren't on during the day. I have dark tint, like I've said multiple times in this video already, and yeah, I don't have a problem seeing my lights during the day. And then the final settings to turn on is going to be under dynamics. If you're in a performance new 3 or presumably a new Y Juniper performance, then you'll have 3 acceleration modes. It's all personal preference. I'm not going to say I recommend running the highest acceleration because that's what you paid for, but that is what you paid for. But I understand some people have kids, or they know they're a really heavy foot, so they drive on chill just to conserve on tires. And if you are in a position where you do need to quickly up your acceleration, Tesla did introduce the voice command now that will just like instantly change it, and you can feel it like as you're driving. Like if you have your foot on the accelerator and you say chill, insane. Like if you're on chill or standard, assuming you're in a new performance 3, and you say insane and like your foot's down, you can like it immediately picks up. Ride and handling, I believe it comes default in sport. I actually put mine to standard. I much prefer standard in this car with the adaptive suspension. I think it feels great. I do recommend turning on apply brakes when regenerative braking is limited. Just so you don't got to use your brake pedal. You can still keep on one pedal driving during like the winter when it's cold, or if your battery's at like 100%. And then finally, auto shift beta. This is new for the new 3 and presumably the new Y. This is fantastic. I love it. I still am waiting for them to update it. So when you're like trying to back into a spot, it sees that you're in a parking lot and you pull one way and it's like, okay, you want to go into reverse. So then it'll ask you to, you know, do the whole where you got to turn the wheel and put your foot on the brake to auto go into reverse. I'm still waiting for that as I back in everywhere. But besides that, if I'm backing out of a parking spot, it is fantastic. Picks up on it immediately. I pretty much never swipe on the screen anymore, and it makes not having a gear selector stock not really that big of a deal. But yeah, those are just some settings that I personally like to have on. I actually originally made this list when I was about to go to Colorado this past Christmas because I was going to be touring a new Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive, and I completely forgot that like it transfers your Tesla profile when you sign in. So I didn't even actually need to change any of the settings. The only thing I had to re-enable was Autopilot. And I think that's because of like safety restrictions. You got to re-enable that for like every new car, I guess, that you get in, even if it does transfer your profile. If you know of any settings that you think people should turn on or change, let us know down in the comments section. If you are new around here and you want to see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe. Let me know if you all like dark mode. I had some people request that I use dark mode for these type of videos and FSD videos, or do you all prefer light mode? Let me know, and I will see you all in the next one.